glucose, monosaccharide sugar. You're sweeter than a woman's kiss.
I'll have to apologize right now because I'm not a very loud talker.
Do you want to get close to the middle that way people can hear
Right
you?
here? Sure, I can do that.
Or even closer if you wanted to?
Right here's good.
Perfect.
Yeah, okay. So what I want to talk about today, something that's really important to me, something that affects me, is mental illness. I suffer from depressions, minor schizophrenia, and a manic kind of anxiety. And so I've been struggling with this for a long time. It's something I discovered when I was in high school, with the ability to write, to express, to get some of that tension that's underneath my skin out. And so I started writing when I was in high school. And so Megan approached me, wanted to know if I would be interested in reading some here. This is the first time I've ever done this, so I'm sorry I'm a little bit nervous because I have a lot of anxiety, so I'm not really good at this kind of thing. But anyway, so I'm going to read just a couple of them, kind of explain to you where they came from and what the thought process was behind why I write certain things. So my first one is just called I Am October. I am October at times, limbs withering and hair turning out, lungs filled with the notion of coldness to come. I am a fake plastic tree at times, no reason to be, wearing a mask every day, never noticed past the surface. I am tired at times, weak eyes struggling to see the road, heavy arms with no grip left, breath slowing down, and each can be named. I am here at times, mostly but not always. I'll never truly be, it wears me out, but I am October at times. So on that one, what that one meant to me is, with my depression and anxiety, I work in retail. So being in retail, you can't really be, I guess, the normal me. You have to wear a mask all the time, have to sort of hide who I really am. And so that's where that kind of came from, was the idea of what I had to actually hide every day when I go to work there. I'll just read just a couple more that I have. Okay. This one I don't have a title. This one just came up. Another thing, a little thing about me. My father died when I was in high school of a drug overdose and alcoholism. And so something that kind of really still affects me to today. So a lot of my writings can be traced back to that as well. So this one is just sort of a writing that I wrote thinking about him and what his thought process was at that time. A sauce to chill my veins, overwhelming, nauseating thoughts, drink to burn my memories, faking, masking face, gin to dull my eyes, battling, failing human, whiskey to dizzy my emotions, running, stumbling legs, liquor to cope with my own self, sinking, drowning in my own self. So that's just another one. That one is just, like I said, it sort of refers back to my dad. Again, sorry, I know I'm talking really weird and nervously, because it's hard for me to talk about mental illness, and especially to read these, because a lot of these are kind of personal and everything. So I'll just read one more. And if you guys are ever interested in wanting to, because I do post these, it's easier for me just to post them and let people read them and me not be there, because again, I just let my anxiety overwhelm me too much, I think. Okay, this one's just a really simple one that I wrote. With the schizophrenia that I have, I'm trying to become more open and actually talking about it, because it's not really popular to say, hey, I have voices in my head. Hey, I have, people that I just randomly see, or hallucinations, I guess. But I do. It's unfortunate, but it's something that I struggle with. So on this one, it's sort of just talking about that whole different kind of world that I have to live in, and where I have to pretend, where I have to hide, and where I think of myself as a small kind of person, like not a good person, I guess you could say. So here's this one, like I said, just really short. I'm still here, just smaller now, sleeping between the decaying blades of grass, noticing the wind and its whispers, seeing the leaves abandon their home. I'm smaller now, just here, still. Like I said on that one, it's just me trying to talk about how I'm trying to, not hide, but I have to hide myself, I guess, or hide the schizophrenia and the manic depression, and how sometimes I feel embarrassed talking about it. But from working in retail for the past 10, 12 years that I've worked in retail, I have discovered that mental illness does need to be talked about more and more openly. So this is one of my first attempts to actually start talking about it and let people understand that it actually is an illness. Depression and sadness are two different things. Being angry, having mood swings is different than schizophrenia. Manic anxiety is different than just being nervous. So depression's not sadness. Depression The best way I can describe it is drowning with no attempt to pull yourself back up. It's not a sadness. I don't feel sad a lot of the times. I feel empty a lot of the times, or a lot of times I'll just feel numb with no hope. One of the ways that I used to deal with that is I used to cut, and that's just another way that I know myself and a lot of people who deal with schizophrenia and depression, how they deal with it. And it's unfortunate working in retail because I have, I kind of show these arms every day. And it's interesting, I used to hide and pretend and say things like stupid stuff like I got attacked by a bear or I fell out of a tree, something dumb to try to hide it, but now I'm getting to a point where I feel like it needs to be an open dialogue and discuss more. This doesn't mean suicide, this doesn't mean wanting that. When I do this, it's a way for myself to, when I feel too numb, to open myself back up. And so it's something I'm struggling with that I try not to do too often, but I do feel like it needs to be discussed more, definitely more, because I know there are people that struggle with it as well, struggle with hiding it, and there's a misperception when people notice those kind of marks on me. With the schizophrenia, like I said, it's just, I hear voices sometimes, voices that just tell me basically how, worthless, pathetic, offline, that kind of stuff. And so it's something that I deal with. It's an everyday thing. And yes, the voice does sound different than my normal voice. Even though that sounds really weird and bizarre, but it's just something that I fight with every day. And the anxiety, like as you can tell, I'm very anxious right now. Not comfortable doing this, but like I said, I'm trying more and more to just express what mental illness is and how it needs to be talked about more and how it needs to be approached, especially in workplaces. Because I've actually lost several jobs because of my mental illness, and with employers not understanding what that means, like the difference between, hey, I can't go out there and talk to this person right now, anxiety's killing me. It's not me being nervous, it's just that my brain shuts down. And what I try to explain this as is, I don't know if you've ever had like a really bad headache, or maybe drink way too much and your brain feels mush and you can't get out the thoughts that you want to get out. That's what it is I can't say the words that I want to say. Even right now talking, there are things that I want to say and I know they're not coming out right, but that's just because of the anxiety that takes over. But anyway, I do sincerely appreciate the opportunity just to come by and just to talk about it, because like I said, what I really want to do and what I'm hoping to do is speak about it more, especially like local high schools and colleges as well, because I think that the more that we understand mental illness, the more we talk about it, I think it won't be such a scary thing, and I think it won't be looked at as, how am I going to say this, like, oh, he's a psycho, he hears voices. Like I want there to be more of an open dialogue to it, just like some people struggle with any other illness or disease, it's the same thing. But like I said, I really do thank you guys for giving me the opportunity. I'm sorry I've been so nervous and I only read a few of them. I'm just not very comfortable doing this, but I'm trying to get used to it. Like I said, if you guys are interested in reading or following me, I can definitely let you know about the Tumblr page that I have set up for that. But again, I thank you guys.
Perfect.